Joseph W. Brady gets an update on the Green Tree Boulevard Overpass project.
Terry, this is a day I think that I've waited to see for a long time. So my first trip when I was living in Santa Barbara was to the high desert of the Victor Valley at the time. Was on Saturday, September 20th, 1986. I was with Carl Van Berger. Carl's a very well-known, astute local broker, land broker, and then he toured us in Victorville and Silver Lakes and Hesperia, which was unincorporated at the time, and then Apple Valley, which was unincorporated. He made a point as we were coming east on Green Tree Boulevard to say to me, take a look out to the east, and if you see that road out there, which was Yucca-Loma Road, these two are going to connect in the next 5 years. The deal's been cut, and boy, I was pretty excited. Well, long story short, I moved into Spring Valley Lake 2 years later, and we are now in 2022. And talking to Mark and Kyle here with SKANSKA, they'll talk a little bit about the schedule. So how do we get here today? The city of Victorville, and I mean this goes back to an earlier interview that we did with Ryan McCachran. The city council worked very, very well with the county and with the town of Apple Valley in finishing out the second extension. The first extension was the Yucca-Loma Bridge in the town of Apple Valley, and they worked with the town. They worked with the county. And then this portion was a rather challenging one in design, cost, and most importantly, who was going to pay for it. So when we were talking to Ryan McCachran earlier today, he was probably the chief lobbyist for it. There were not everybody in Victorville was real happy about the extension of Green Tree because they felt that it would create a lot of traffic along Green Tree. But the city, I think, is really trying to promote people coming westbound on Green Tree. It'll be Yucca-Loma, then to Green Tree. There'll be a stoplight where Ridgecrest will now connect. That they really urge them to go down Hesperia Road south and then turn right on Nisqually and go west to the region. So next to me is a longtime friend of everybody here in the High Desert, Steve Davidson. I've known Steve since I tried to rob a bank at DCB many years ago and he stopped me. Steve was a well-known money guy. The nice thing about Steve is you never had to pay back money, but then Ron Wilson got involved and Ron kind of required you to pay it back. Our relationship with SKANSKA, we've known John Manich for a long time. John is ultimately probably the big boss on this project, but the project manager is a lady by the name of Kim Ward. Kim couldn't be here today. Steve Downs was going to do our tour, which would allow us to take a look at Ridgecrest and how it's going to come in from where Chinquapin is to Ridgecrest and Green Tree. But more importantly, I get asked questions all the time at Spring Valley Lake, Bear Valley Country Club at Spring Valley Lake, or just when I'm in Spring Valley Lake, what's that site further down where Huerta is and all that dirt coming in? Well, that's about 350,000 cubic yards that is coming in. So Mark is involved with structure, so he's going to talk a little bit about the structure. And then Kyle is involved with dirt. And then we're going to go on out and take a couple of pictures and go from there. So, So Mark, kind of take us through. I mean, you're from Lake Arrowhead. You've been with SKANSKA for a long time. Tell us about this project and your involvement and what you've done.
Yeah, so I've been with SKANSKA 28 years. I came here in the beginning, got structures rolling from foundations through abutments, through columns, and am the lead superintendent for structures here for this project.
Give us the dirt.
So, little background, I've been with SKANSKA here for off and on 5 or 6 years. I kind of started in the field, went to school, been an engineer here for 2 years. Initially, I was helping Kim on this project back when we got helping her move a lot of this dirt for the Green Tree Boulevard extension. They're running about 9 trucks a day currently, bottom dumps, getting about 300 to 350 loads a day. Anywhere from 2,500 to 3,500 yards a day, and so they're working to get that going so they can get, start placing base, and actually start seeing a road develop, and then you'll see the lights, the striping, and it will all come together.
So this is the last piece of false work to be removed. We got our last all-work window with the railroad for Monday.
It's been very challenging working around the railroad, getting pumps in place to be able to place the concrete where it has to go, right? Very, very challenging, very tricky. Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit about the timing so we get in the holiday season and what you can and cannot do with the railroad?
Right. So with BNSF, they have what they call a fourth quarter shutdown. So October 1 would be a shutdown all the way to January 1. So during that period, you cannot work within their right of way. You're able to work outside of their right of way, provided you have a crane in the air and it will not foul a track or something. If it was to tip over and foul a track, so they ask you not to work within their right of way, or put something up that could foul a track to prevent them from getting freight through.
There are other factors that cause delays or difficult working conditions.
Yeah, so it's been a challenge building the bridge up here during the windy season, which is quite a bit of wind up here. We actually lost our overhang several times, and that's the portion we walk on during our construction of the bridge. So we'd have to go up and reconstruct that to make it safe.
Wow.
So it's been very challenging.
Yeah, Mark, did these supply chain debacle hurt you guys, or were you fortunate enough to have some good work by local companies?
Yeah, we were very fortunate. High Grade supplied our concrete onto our project, as well as Robertson's, but High Grade did an excellent job for us. They were on time and got us our materials when needed. Yeah.
Is there a final conclusion that this whole project will be completed by such and such a time? I know that there have been obstacles that have set you back, but you've still been able to keep pretty much close to schedule.
We have, with all the obstacles and events that have taken place, we're still looking around April. Yeah. Yep.
Wow. Steve, when this whole project is finished, how do you see this being a time saver for you as a resident and traveling through the Vicky Valley?
For me, it's going to cut probably 15 minutes drive time just to go around to get to Bear Valley and then turn up Green Tree. I can come right out of, Pebble Beach, make a right, get on it, and make a left, and I'll be in Costco probably in 10 minutes.
Terry, I think that people have really, the question I'm getting a lot now is Ridgecrest going to stay in its current alignment, or does it turn? And it actually is going to turn about where the piece of vacant land is past where Lakeshore Homes is. That's where it starts to make its turn. On the left side of that is a project that Michael Ashigian and his brother Mark Ashigian have obtained approvals. It's an apartment resort project that is going to be built, and they've waited for this for a really long time to get it done. I just saw Michael the other day and Mark. But that's where Ridgecrest is going to start to turn, and as it turns, that portion of Ridgecrest will be taken out, and where Chinquapin is, which is the last entry point that you can get in and out of Spring Valley Lake really on the west side, that's going to connect, and then from Chinquapin down to where the realignment comes back, all that asphalt's going to be taken on out. So there's going to be a parcel of ground in the middle of it that's owned by Carmen Majors, and it's going to sit high above the ground because of the topography that she owns. So the road will turn and connect to Green Tree, and there'll be a stoplight there, and so you'll be able to turn right to go to Apple Valley, you'll be able to turn left to go to Victorville, which is going to save a lot of time for a lot of people. Hopefully it's going to take some people off of Bear Valley Road, but it's going to have an impact on the residents within Spring Valley Lake and those people on the west side of Ridgecrest would, I think, increase traffic. So, Terry, I want to give a plug to three people that couldn't be here today. John Matich, who, if you know anything about moving dirt, the Matich name is symbolic in building projects like this. Kim Ward. Kim, thanks for all the things that you've done, and I know we've tried to do this many times. Steve Downs, who is the superintendent, and then we have Mark and Kyle. So I'd like to thank them. Trying to coordinate something like this and working around their schedules was tough, and I really do appreciate it. And hopefully those who are watching this can appreciate some of the pictures. We're going to try to get some of the pictures from Steve Davidson of kind of so make a couple little videos of this. It should be fun. So thanks, everybody.